Hello everyone, my name is Vinny Okoli and my homework 3 learning outcome comes from 8.2 classification of joints. Number 3, describe how bones of fibers. Now first off, what are joints? Joints or articulations are functional junctions between bones. They bind parts of the skeletal system and are responsible for movement and stability of the skeleton. Joints can be classified two ways: through structure, which is the type of tissue that binds the bones at each junction, and function, which is the degree of movement possible at each bony junction. Now, in this slide, I have a chart that shows the three different types of functional classifications of joints. First is synthrosis, which is movable joints. One example would be skull sutures. Amphithrosis, which is slightly movable joints. A good example would be vertebral joints. And diathrosis, which are freely moving joints. And a good example for this would be the shoulder joint. This slide shows different types of joint structures. There is fibrous joints, cartilaginous joints, and synovial joints. My presentation focuses mostly on fibrous joints, which are named so because the dense connective tissue holding them together includes many collagen fibers. These joints are between bones in close contact. Now, before going any further, I want to explain a little bit about dense connective tissue. Dense connective tissue is a type of connective tissue with fibers as its main matrix element. It forms strong rope-like structures such as tendons and ligaments. Now, these ligaments are essentially what connects the bones to bones, and of course, as said previously, are what fibrous joints are made of. Now, there are three different types of fibrous joints. Number one, syndesmosis. In a syndesmosis, the bones are bound by a sheet or bundle of dense connective tissue. This junction is flexible and may be twisted, so the joint may permit slight movement. A syndesmosis lies between the tibia and fibula, as well as the ulna and radius, as you can see in my picture. The second type of fibrous joint is sutures. Now, sutures are only between flat bones of the skull, where the broad margins of adjacent bones grow together and unite by a thin layer of dense connective tissue called a sutural ligament. If you look closely, you can see the sutural line, and the picture next to it, you can see the dense fibrous connective tissue close up. Now, the third and final fibrous joint is the gyphmosis. A gyphmosis is a joint formed by the union of a cone-shaped process in a bony socket. The peg-like root of a tooth fastened to the maxilla or the mandible by a periodontal ligament. This ligament surrounds the tooth root and firmly attaches it to the bone with bundles of thick collagen fibers. If you look closer into my picture, you can see the root of the tooth, the socket, and the periodontal ligament. And this is what it looks like close up. And this completes my presentation. If you want to find more information, here are the resources that I used. Thank you. Joints are held together.